Hello again, virtual toy model car collectors. This is another one of these Robert designed fictional vehicles, like a wide body kit on a classic VW Beetle. Robert's got an Instagram page here. I also did a search on YouTube. He's actually done a virtual car show of all of his models, so it's called BDM, and you probably want to check that out. It's kind of cool. It's really cool, actually. So let's take a look at this one. I already have the hardtop version, and I was kind of, checking this out at a local store, and I just love military liveries because I used to collect a whole bunch of military diecast jet planes and stuff before getting into the car stuff. And so this is combining a little bit of military and a car. I guess it's probably like an army car, but anyways. So, if you're unfamiliar, I have a suspicion the model is made by Inspire Model, but the design is by Robert. Okay, it's officially licensed, and then it's also RWB licensed. So, Robert, I don't know. You were nice enough to comment on my first video. Are any of your cars being made for real? Like, if it says RWB, is RWB making a wide body kit for the Beetle for you? If so, congratulations, that's pretty awesome, but I don't know. All I see are some digital renderings, so okay. So we got a standard size case, which is great. It's also not extremely loose, so, but still it's not a good habit to lift things by the top cover because the model could fall out and break. Alrighty, let's see. I'm just checking if this, that thing's delicate, but it's inset quite a bit. I don't know if I can't recall if I took the other one off the base, but we're going to try this one out today. Take it off the base. So a little additional peg there to keep him spinning during shipping. It's in there quite a bit. Alright, so there's also an extremely shiny mirrored, nameplate here with Robert Design, and this colorway apparently is limited to 1,000 pieces, and it says Brazilian design, so one would have to assume with the Brazilian flag here that Robert is Brazilian. Alright, just my deductive reasoning, could be wrong. Okay, so obviously we got some renderings here I pulled up. So the renderings are fantastic. I mean, it'd be very easy to think these are real cars. Maybe that is a real car, but it does look kind of rendered just really well. Alright. I see. Maybe this is mirrored because the tow hook is on the other side. I'm not sure if I pulled up the right image, but here's a rear. The license plate actually does match the license plate in this rear view, and it's a Japanese license plate, I think. Okay, well, let's take a look and hope I don't drop it. So it's a matte olive paint job, like World War II kind of old school Sherman tank stuff. And this type of star reminds me of a Sherman tank. The wheels, they're pretty funky. I don't know what make of wheels these are. So if anyone knows if these are real wheels, please leave a comment and what model they are. They're quite elaborate. They're geometric yet organic at the same time. What I don't know is if there's any air passing between the wheels. I think there is. I think I see some light shining through the back. Yeah, alright, so those spoke hole openings are hollow, so that's nice. Well, I guess while I'm here, I should see if there's a brake system. I don't know. I can't see one. It's not to say that's not there. I think it is there. The reason why is you can see there's a big silver cylinder in there, and I see another circle where the wheel would be trapping the axle. So I think there is a silver brake system in there. It's just that the spoke holes are so small, I can't see it very easily. Alright. So the tires are nice because they have proxies, you know, text on them, some Toyos. I think. No, maybe it's not Toyo. Hold on. Gotta zoom in. Nope, it's not proxies. It is Rotyaks. Sorry, I have no idea. Rotyas? R-O-T-Y-A. I don't know what that next letter is. Is it a C or a Z? Okay, well anyways, it's not proxies, so my bad. I don't know if this is a fictional tire. Alright, I'm now seeing some carbon fiber here on these little side barge boards. That's a decal, a little wrinkly. Oh nice, you can see a little external hinge here. I do question if there would be a second one. I do see it on the CAD rendering. I'm not sure why Inspire modeled it, molded in here. The door handle sticks out, and there's a trim line here that's protruding and it's painted black. Okay. One would wonder if this is accurate, how this sticks out. And looking at the rendering, it does stick out. Maybe this is where, you know, there's a seam and it's welded on a classic Beetle. I don't really have a classic Beetle in my collection, so I can't compare it to one. And then you got this funky, whatever you would call that, made of plastic and is pegged into the side here. And it's pretty thin, pretty nice. We have a little pressure relief thing here of carbon fiber on top of this rear wheel well. I'm sure it's pegged in there. Okay, and then a little silver for this little side marker, or orange for that one. Can't make out that text there. And now at 4 times magnification, I can't make that text out, but that's okay. So it's got a very, very low side mirror, and there's a reflective sticker in it, so that's cool. The mirror is a separate piece, so that's nice. And then we have some sort of markers on the top here, and they're black plastic with some, it's actually red. You would think they should be orange, but they're red. So Inspire, I don't know what you're thinking there. Most turn signals in the real world are orange. It's kind of been that way for a long time as well. Alright, so the headlights have these little, I don't know, eyelids, I guess? Headlight lids, and they seem to be black separate pieces. They're applied very well. You know, they're not crooked or anything like that. The headlight themselves is a nice transparent dome. It's not flat, it is domed. And it looks like, you know, there's a light bulb back there. Maybe the plastic is going into the casting. But there's like a silver light bucket back there as well. That's helping out the, you know, the realism. The license plate, yeah, I think that's Japanese, so that's very nice and realistic. This separate little metal tow hook thing is looking nice. It seems to be gold painted. Then we have some more carbon fiber on this chin spoiler, nicely applied. And then we have these two little separate canards, and those are nicely formed as well. Okay, there's also a handle here. I don't know if that's a plastic or metal piece. It's hard to say. Probably metal if I had to guess, because it's, you know, well, I don't know. It looks a little thick to be metal, but, you know, you can photo etch thicker metal, so it's possible. Anyways, there's a tiny ridge here in the center. Yeah, I can feel a tiny ridge, and it's painted black, and then you got a little dot there, painted black as well. So then this whole area is depressed a little bit, so that's nice. We have some separate metal painted wiper blades, looking good. And then we have the RWB thing here on the windshield, and it's tampo printed, it's not a decal. I'm trying to see if the wiper blades are actually bent. I don't think they are, but I get the illusion that they are. They're probably done. They look like they're bent, but maybe they're not. Alright, going to this side, looks the same as the other side. Yeah, okay. So no quality problems, that's good. Going to the back, now we have some red transparent tail lamps. And something going on back there as I move the light around. Maybe there's silver paint or something back there, or the peg is going into the diecast. It gives it some sort of dimensionality behind the red surface. So the license plate is a decal, but it's nicely applied. The handle here for the trunk, the engine cover is nice. I don't know if it's plastic or metal though. And then the exhaust tips actually have some depth to them, so that's good. I think they must be plastic because I can do that. There's even a little bump here for the license plate light. And then this rear wing seems to be a separate piece as well. Although, let me look further. No, my bad. The crease is so sharp, I just assumed it was separate, but when I wrap around here, that looks like one piece. You know, there's no break at all. Anyways, it's nicely molded, so kudos to Inspire. Seems like this is a break though in the mold, or just a really thick panel gap, I'm not sure. But it's got a little protrusion here and here, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Yeah, interesting. There are some black dots and some black strips here on the rear photograph, but they're not on this casting. I don't know if the photo is unique or if all these wide body VWs should have those things on the rear photograph. Alright, there's a third brake light up here. We got some ribbing in here, pretty well done. And then we have a black tonneau cover, some ribbed bench seat for the rear passengers, and then we have some racing buckets with some decals for some Takata seat belts, and the steering wheel has some decent molding details, and then the instrument cluster is a decal as well, so you got a nice central tachometer or speedometer there. It's interesting, the passenger gets a little grab handle here on the dashboard, and then there's a rear view mirror, but let me see, no reflectivity. Alright, so it's a decent interior. There's an e-brake there in the middle. Okay, well, I guess we have to go to the bottom then. So it's another case where no one wants to take credit for this model. Neither Inspire or Robert. You know, they're going for, I guess, realism, but I'd rather know what the model is in the event that I buy something used in the future, you know, without the original packaging or the display box. These are some pretty funky treads. They look very modern, and they have a very, very large amount of sidewall curvature. They almost look like they're stretched out, but they kind of look like the renderings, so Inspire did a good job there. And then you get a whole bunch of convoluted exhaust pipes here painted silver, so that's a pretty nice detail. 3 screws holding it together, so if you're a modifier, you can do so. In fact, I am debating modifying this myself. I don't think I'd mess with the interior because I'd lose those decals. But the wheels, I'm thinking I might repaint those because, I mean, from that distance it's really hard to tell what's going on. I'm pretty sure they're nice wheels, but yeah. So in fact, hold on here. I'm pulling out this one right now because I'm noticing these are also black. This is the one I reviewed many months ago. And see, it's just black wheels is not the best choice. But I went with this because I like this metallic gray / purple. It's mostly gray, but it's very faintly purple, I think, and I just don't have a diecast like that. This one is also limited to 1,000. So the only issue I had with this one is you can see this weird plastic thing, how it's bent that way, and then on this side, oh, I think I corrected it, never mind. When I got it originally, these weren't bent equally, so I think I bent them a little bit myself. Okay, so let me come back. I thought I'd show you guys the construction of this thing. So the interior is the same as the other one, only this coupe has a gold rolled cage, but the interior piece is the same. You know, the other one has 6 holes for the roll cage also, but you just can't see them because they're so far down. And yeah, this also has the black Takata seat belts, and it seems to say Recaro on the top of the seats as well. And same instrument cluster as well. Okay, so I repainted these wheels with some photochromic or color shift Vallejo paint, so they're like a blue purple color shift. And there is a very rudimentary brake system here. You see, there's the caliper, and yeah, you can see it a little bit peeking through. No, it's pretty hard. It's actually really hard. It's almost like it didn't need brakes at all. But I think they might have a different molding of wheels that maybe you can see the brakes better. What was a bit of a surprise in both of these is there's actually an engine. And I think the reason why is I think there's a version of this casting where there is none of this engine cover, so you'll actually see the exposed engine. And I'm guessing it's part of, you know, the exhaust system, so that's why they put it in there. Although this one, the convertible, didn't have this orange piece, it just had the silver and the muffler and stuff. But this one has the full engine for some reason, even though you can't see any of it. I thought for a second it might come off, but no. Oh, well, no. See, it looks like, for a moment I thought this was a hinge, but I just tried to twist it, and so what I think is the pins are holding it in place. I suppose if you just took a hammer to it or some pliers, you could take this off, but I don't think you'll probably take the paint off with it, so I'm not going to mess with that. Yeah. But that pretty much means there must be a version, or there will be a version, where you can see the engine exposed. Alright, well anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you. The chin spoiler here is a separate piece of plastic, and that's how they got the decal to lay so nicely on it. Alright. So that's good. So it rests in these two, you know, grooves here, front and back, and then I'm just going to sandwich this interior on there. That's kind of trapping the axle, and now the balancing act of trying to get the body on top of this. Squeeze it together a little bit, and then the screws are actually different between these two models. This older one has really rough, what would be closer to wood screws, you know, or self-tapping metal screws, whereas that camouflage, well, not the camouflage, the army painted one has more like machine screws, or more like metric bolts, I'm assuming. So if you do take two of these apart at the same time, keep the screws separated, because you'll cross-thread stuff if you put the wrong screw into the wrong hole. That again sounds like a weird joke right there, but okay. See, this big one here is a machine screw, or like a metric bolt, whereas those two smaller ones were more like wood screws, which are much coarser thread. And frankly, this is the wrong screwdriver for that size head. I don't want to strip it out, so I gotta go back to the large one. Okay. These two are back together. Just to show you here, I had some Tamiya paint on this one, and it's just a much lighter color. You can see, obviously. I thought it was going to be much lighter than this, but apparently not. But anyways, the interior matches the wheels. But before I did that, I took the seats out. I had to scrape the bottom out, so I released the glue, and then I masked off the whole steering wheel / dashboard there, because I didn't want to lose that decal effect. But I think it looks nicer now, you know, because you can actually see the wheel details. Probably more so than the photochromic blue ones, because the blue is so dark. Maybe I should have gone with tan. Oh well. Let's get these guys up on the spin thing here. And you can kind of compare the two, see what other differences there are. They seem to have the same exhaust tips. Yeah, the same markers up front. Now what's weird, the markers on this one are translucent orange. So this one has much better, much more realistic front turn signals. Hopefully you can see that's translucent orange. So why did they switch over to this low grade one where it's just painted red? That's weird to me. It's almost like maybe they ran out of these one day and they're just like, hey, now that doesn't make sense because it's a different type of plastic. You know, this is molded in solid black plastic. This one is molded in translucent orange, and then they may have painted the back black. Oh boy, I hope I didn't. I thought I almost ripped off that toe ring in the front of that one. Also noticing, yeah, the license plates are different. The windshield banner is different. I think that's... Oh, no, the handle on the front hood is also different now. This one is a much thinner, the opening is much larger, and this one is definitely a smaller hand grab opening. So some changes have been occurring at the factory for some reason. I see, which is a real shame, but it seems to be changing for the worse. You know, this is a much earlier model. It just has tighter, finer components on it. This one is getting a little thicker handle, and those front turn signals are really inexcusable now, knowing that it could have come with clear ones. So that's a real shame. Alright. I only have one other Beetle in my collection. It's just, you know, there's so many Volkswagen Beetles in 164, I've just never been in a hurry to get any more. But I think this one is like a dealership model. It's a new Beetle, and then I 3D printed the wheels. If you look up the review of this one, it had absolutely horrendous wheels. It had some sort of QC problem, so that's why I printed my own. Alright, let's give you a bit of a top view here. Alright, well, let's get these guys out of here. This is still about this one here. Hold on, let's get a little better contrast. Well, in conclusion, it's a little less ideal than the hardtop version, so if you had to pick, you know, now you know the differences. But if you like the convertibles, it's not necessarily bad. You know, it's still a nice model. You know, this does have the eyebrows, whereas the coupe did not, so those are some extra pieces. It's just the black wheels really gets me, but I think there were some other color combinations where they had lighter colored wheels. So keep that in mind. These things come in many different colorways. So if for some slim chance Robert Design is listening, it seems as though obviously you love Volkswagens. But if you run out of Volkswagens, I think it would be nice if we saw you do some, you know, renderings of some other types of brands and marks. In particular, I would love to see like a Yugo. You know, that was a very comedy car in the 1980s, and it's improbable there are many left in the world, but it would be funny to take a Yugo and wide body kit that thing, or maybe like think of some other funny American cars like the Pacer or the Gremlin. Boy, what else? The Hyundai XL, the very first one. You know, I think it would be funny to do those, and if you did, I would buy them. Because, you know, I like funny things if you watch my ChurroQ videos. For everyone else, I do believe there's castings of Robert's Volkswagen T2 van. I just haven't seen it locally at my shops, so that's why I haven't gotten it. If I do see one locally, I'll probably pick one up. Okay, well, thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully someday I'll get another one of these Robert Design ones in. Alright, thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.